Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Thailand and welcome to Worm Bin Weekends, week 28. Now I know you're probably wondering what happened to week 27. I was out of town and I apologize. As soon as I hit 500 subscribers, I should have access to the community tab. It's going to make it a lot easier for me to be able to let you guys know about upcoming videos, and also when things like, bye weeks, like what happened last weekend, happened for the worms, so that you guys know, hey, no videos this upcoming weekend. But at any rate, tonight's gonna be a lot of fun. We are definitely gonna be harvesting castings tonight. We're gonna be adding in some new bedding, checking on the progress of those foods that we gave to the worms 2 weeks ago, which I think they probably have plowed through pretty well. And we are almost finished getting full contents of bin 1 out and into bins 2 and 3 now. So depending on how everything works out this evening, that may happen. In other words, I may be able to get the remaining contents of bin 1 out, and it's going to be put back into circulation here with the other 2 bins, starting off with the mesophilic cycle for bin 1, so that I can get it back in and get some more worms put in there, because the worms are really small and it's definitely due to overcrowding. It's both bins are overpopulated. So the sooner I can get bin 1 back up and going, the better. Let's go ahead and check on the worms, check on the castings, and get some things harvested. Let's do it. All right, week 28, bin 2. Now, sprouts galore. That looks like it's probably one of the cucumbers. And that looks like a smaller one. Lots of sprouts. And you can see that I also tossed some dry lettuce leaves in here. I'll do that from time to time as well. It's been 2 weeks. I got a feeling it looks like the center has sunk in here quite a bit, which is a pretty good sign that they've consumed everything that was in there. Let's dig in and take a look. Oh yeah, looking nice. That was the mango pit, or the husk I should say. The seed's long gone. I don't see any worms inside of it. Usually there's babies in here. Nope, that's pretty dry. Alright, so there's our first worm. Stumpy little guy. Castings look great. Yeah, it looks like the center is, it's still being worked. It's a little spongy, but I left it kind of loose on top like that. So let's see if we have any better luck this week using this thing that I just decided to drill a bunch of holes into than we did with the other one last week. So let's give this a little go and see how things are looking. It's real thin and it's very dry down here, which is exactly what I was hoping for. It's almost a little bit too dry. Yeah, I mean, that works well. But as you can see, there's some worms that are coming through the shaking. And this is going to take a little time, so what I'm going to do, so you don't have to, is I'm going to fast forward through this a bit. So let me see how far I can get. Maybe a smaller amount would be better. It's a little damp. It's a little damp going through here, so I still may need to get a larger size colander to do this properly, but so far so good. It's about the size of the worms right now. This definitely is not going to separate out cocoons, so I'll have to get some dried piece of fruit, maybe a banana peel, and depending on how deep I get through this tonight, I'll just have to put it on top of it, on top of these castings, to make sure that any other baby worms or anything that might hatch from the time of sifting, I can then get collected out of this. Make things a little bit easier. This definitely works a lot better with this little thing, just with a little bit at a time, because it's still, these castings are still kind of moist, and they're caking up down at the bottom of this, like that, and so they're blocking some of the holes and the ability for the shake to get out. But other than that, it's working out okay. I'm going to be having some garden videos coming up here soon, where I'm going to be making compost tea and showing you guys the routine that I use with compost tea in combination with some other things that I'm also going to be demonstrating. So stay tuned for those. Ooh, nice big healthy worm. I'm trying to do my best to keep them out of the sifting process. I mean, it's not a lot, but I mean, that's you know, it's a good start. That's probably about a little over 5 minutes worth of work so far. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe. And it's cleared out, you know, the majority of this side. I've obviously piled a lot on top that has been more moist, but that's also where the shake that is not coming through this is going. So the idea is going to be to put more new bedding over here on this side and kind of mix everything together from the center, and put in some food tonight. Go from there. Not too shabby. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, why don't you just get a colander? I will, but you know, I hate to make it sound like Thailand is just this developing country that hasn't like moved up into the 21st century for no other reason other than just availability of items and goods. I mean, I can get stuff online, but you know, it's not like I've got just a store I can walk down into and find everything I need all the time. I should be able to find a colander without a problem, but I was so busy this past weekend that when I finally got to this weekend, I was like, you know what? I've got enough plastic bowls like this. I'll just make my own. I'll tell you what, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. And I think there may be some babies, because I found some really tiny ones that I just took out off the top of my glove inside of the casting syrup, separated out. But I mean, you know, that's not too bad. I mean, that represents, you know, the majority of this side. You know, obviously there's this additional that I put up on top here, but that's okay, because the center is not coming out on this. The center is very much going to stay intact where the food is right now. And I'm going to add some new bedding in right now and wet it down so that we can you know, just keep plodding forward. It was definitely time to harvest. Week 28, I really wanted to do this 2 weeks ago, but you know, it's okay. Let's get some additional bedding put in over here on the side. We'll get it wet down. Just gonna wet it down with this is just RO water that I fill in this bottle. Nothing special, but I want to make sure I get this bedding as wet as I can before I cover the castings back on top of it. I think it'll just help with the moisture. because it is hot. Woo. Let me tell you what, I mean, this is probably going to be one of our hottest years since I moved to Thailand, and I've been here almost 5 years now. It is really, really warm right now, and it's not just warm, it's humid. And one of the other problems we have here in the north in the first 3 months of the year, it's what we call the burning season. This is where most of the farmers burn their fields. I know it sounds crazy, but it's what they do. They put a burning ban usually in by February, but the smoke continues because all of our neighboring countries, Myanmar, Laos, and China, they continue burning, and it just flows south and it comes right through where we're at, and so the air quality here is just absolutely horrible. But you combine that with heat and with humidity, and it is just nasty. So yeah, it's time to get the water tubs filled back up. But I am gonna leave the lids off of these guys this time around, this year, this summer, this hot season. I'll get it right one of these days. All right, so that's that side. Okay. Very nice. Now let's move over here. Feeding zone's about to right here, if I remember correctly. Sprouts. And I can feel the sponginess of the feeding area. And this is kind of the outside area. There's a lot to be said for doing horizontal migrations. I've seen many different YouTubers do it that way, but because I've been feeding down the middle, that obviously, well, it would take a few more weeks to kind of get things reestablished if I started feeding on the sides to do that. So I don't mind doing it this way. Like I said, really, this whole thing, the idea behind this really is for bioremediation. This was more of a test to see how things worked out, if I could actually keep these guys in the bins these size, see what kind of foods they liked, see what they didn't like, see how the bedding worked. Nice adult right there. Not humongous, but not small. So, we sift some of the castings from this side, and then we'll go ahead and we'll flatten out the feeding area a bit after we add some more bedding. And by flatten out, what I mean is just expose so that I can add some more food in there if necessary, which I probably think after 2 weeks. I'm kind of curious to see how they've done with that dragon fruit skin. I'm sure the fruit from that and the mango and the cucumber we gave it have already probably been consumed. But the skin, I am curious to see how they've done with that. There we go. And now I'll forward through this sifting effort so I don't have to put you to sleep, or you don't have to skip it, I'll skip it for you. With ANCs, they're usually big enough that if I spot them in here as I'm, doing this, I try to pick them out. There's no reason for them to go through that kind of stress. But yeah, these castings are still plenty damp. I mean, as you can see, I'm getting muddiness down at the bottom of the holes here as I'm trying to sift everything through. So still very good moisture content in here. And really just, this was what I was hoping for. I think I've got a lot of cocoons in here though. I really do. I think I've got quite a few, and there's one worm. But I think there's quite a few cocoons in here, so I'm definitely going to need to get like a banana peel and just put it right down in the center so that if anything hatches, or if I missed one, then they'll hopefully gravitate towards that, and then I can just easily pick them out and put them back in the bin where they belong. And we're getting there. This has just bin 2. Still got to do bin 3. I have enjoyed feeding down the middle though, because it has made it a lot easier to keep the worms isolated in the middle. I haven't encountered as many on the sides. I'm sure it's the same if you feed on one side or the other. Then you just have a greater area to work with that's, you know, from the middle out to the opposite end of where you fed. But I don't know, it just, for me, this works. One thing about this little bowl that I drilled all these holes in, it's got these ridges on the interior. Yeah, it's not making it easy to get the muddy stuff out of those areas. That's okay. Looking good. Looking real good. About one more handful, and then whatever may have fallen down the side here. That's gonna do it. I'm trying really hard to, if I spot a worm, or even something that looks like a worm, even if it's just a stick, I'm trying to make sure I get them out. Like I said, the babies are so small, you guys. It's, I mean, you literally, if you're not looking for them, you will not see them. That's how tiny they are. They really are just so small. You know what? That's good enough. That's bin 2. That is the harvest from bin 2. There's a little clumpier stuff than I was anticipating. I think I accidentally spilled a little bit in the beginning, and there's some leaf top in here. That's okay. Like I said, I'm gonna put a small piece of banana peel in here, so in case anything hatches or anything passed through the holes and I didn't catch it, hopefully they'll gravitate towards the food and then I can get them out of here. Not a bad takeaway for bin 2. We'll do bin 3 next. Right now, let's get some new bedding in here. There. Okay. Main thing with this is just I want to make sure I get it good and wet. Probably could just dump a cup of water in here, but I kind of like getting it a little bit more evenly coated if I can, like this. I know, it probably seems crazy, but it works. Until it doesn't. Yeah, I'm almost done, like I said, bringing over the contents of bin 1, so I'm going to try to see. That might be an overzealous approach. I may not want to overload it because I still have some things to put in tonight. A couple mangoes and a couple of cucumbers as well. But we'll see. Over we go. All right. Now, the feeding zone. Let's see how they did. Yep, you can still feel food and bedding and contents from bin 1. Good news is the worms look healthy and they definitely are getting bigger. Okay. All right. It's part of the cucumber from 2 weeks ago. Not touched much. You know what's interesting though? I don't see the the dragon fruit peel, you guys. I don't know if that's part of the mango or what, but I mean, that dragon fruit peel was very distinctly colored pinks and orange and green, mostly pink and green, I think. I don't see it. I don't see the mango pit either. Did I? I didn't put any of the pits in, that's why. I only put the flesh in. The pits are going in tonight. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Instead of putting in more bedding at this point in the middle here in the feeding zone, we're gonna let the contents of bin 1 act as the bedding on the bottom this time. And then we're gonna bring in some foods on top of that that are really wet. We're gonna wet it down additionally with some water, just to keep it moist. I'm gonna grab that stuff and I will be right back. Here's a big, huge helping from bin 1. Some sprouts. Half a cucumber. And one very nasty mango plus its pit. This is a full mango and one with just the pit. Oof. It's, yeah, very nasty. Yeah, that's juicy. Holy smokes. All right. Let's, you know what, I don't even think we need any water on this, to be honest with you. I really don't. That being said, my glove could use some. Cover it up. Okay, well, it's a little more wet than normal. But gang, that is that's been 2. So we're going to go ahead and spread the leaves back over. I definitely, and I know I've said this a couple times now, I have to get some more dry leaves to help keep things, as far as the moisture goes, kind of intact. But I really want to thank you guys for joining me today. It's fun to finally harvest these castings. I'm looking forward to getting some tea put together for some of my trees. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, share it with somebody. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd really love it if you'd give consideration to doing that as well. And hit the bell notification icon if you would, so that you can be alerted when I upload new content. Listen, wherever you are in this world today or tonight, you take good care. Bye for now.